all lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen, amen.
Gee. I kind of.
This is way over the edge. Like we it's not even over the edge. We died already.
This is beyond the event horizon. Like we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah, we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah, yeah.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever.
So no kick either. No, I got it. How about a little heel turn?
How you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life.
Well, negotiations, right? Politics.
And we're out of time. So
Hey, all gravity, an evening above ground, live it. Hope you had a fantastic Wednesday. If it started, it's about to end, or it ended. And you know what you got to do on Wednesdays? You got to go out and hump something. We have said this many a time on this channel. We have said it on other platforms. We're going to say it again. Trump does not know how to navigate this post-pandemic world. And as such, him not knowing what's going on geopolitically, he's been told to make the decisions that America is finished. The West is finished. The global South has risen. If you've been on this channel, we've been telling you this for 4 years. For some of the early people, it's been 5 years when we had 3 people in the room. Now it comes outside that the American economy is insolvent. Basically meaning we can't honor our obligations. Our assets are dwarfed by our liabilities. And that man is over there lobbing bombs at each other. Now he's trying to play babyface and say, well, we've destroyed them to the point where they can't function. Yeah. Before we introduce everyone in the room, since we have to explain to the red hats how geopolitics works. Red hats, I love how y'all are saying that that was fake news, what they said. Then them folk over there 12,000 miles away said, come here. We don't drink alcohol, but maybe you should.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
I want y'all to listen to this. It's going to be a precursor to what we're going to be talking about today. And yes, we will include the reparation stuff with Ghana. I have a lot to say about that. But let's see.
Get to work! I think we've said this countless times. Iran has been here for millennia. The people in this region have been here for millennia. Nobody's going anywhere. Total annihilation is not an option. No one peoples or country will disappear from existence by the wish or whim of any political actor. We will live next to each other. We will be neighbors for the future of humankind, and we have to find ways of living next to each other. This is a very difficult moment. Our country has been attacked. Our sovereignty has been attacked. We have seen the effects on our economy, on daily lives of people living here, and we don't take it lightly, and we don't see the attacks on our sovereignty as something that we can live with. Now, that said, obviously living next to 90 million people in Iran, a proud people that we have shared the Gulf with for, as I said, millennia, will continue, and we will have to find a way past this. This is a very difficult moment, but we will find our way out of it. And I have to say here that our message was always to Iran, the brotherly relationship, the neighborly relationship between our peoples should take paramount over any other political consideration. The fact that they decided to attack our country like this does not show good neighborly relations or the essence of that brotherly relationship, but it is something that we don't find any alternative to in our region.
Well, we tell y'all over a year ago when Iran got into BRICS. They were going to have to play nice. This is them lashing out. This is the old guard lashing out. But by them lashing out, they're indirectly and directly messing with this economy, because America loved to play over there in the Middle East. They loved to play in the sand for decades. We're going to get into all that. But before we start with that, let's see who's in the building. DSA, hello. LaShawn, hello. Wallow J, hello. Cosma, hello. Reparations Nation, hello. Zavon, hello. Ricky Ross T, hello. Miss Nisi, hello. Stream Elements, you bastard, hello. Reginald, hello. Anthony, hello. ACAT, hello. Sybil, hello. And for those who haven't said anything in the live chat or the comments, hello. All right. Let's get this stuff out the way so we can curse out Ghana. And it's going to hurt a little bit because Jamaica and Ghana have a little bit of an ancestral link. It's going to hurt, but it's got to be said. But let's get into the customary house cleaning.
Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
All right, so you see that. This is Fortune magazine. It says the Treasury just declared the U.S. insolvent. The media missed it. And you know who they're going to blame. That's right. They're going to blame Jerome Powell, even though he's in charge of the Fed. This is Scott Besson. This is Scott Besson's crew that came out with this. You still want to tell me Scott Besson ain't bought? DEI administration. And they love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see. The U.S. government is insolvent. That's not hyperbole. It's the conclusion drawn directly from the Treasury Department's own consolidated financial statements for fiscal year 2025, released last week to near total media silence. You know why they did that. They did that because they did not want mass buying. Hello, V. Malsby and Elder Baba. Hello. They did not want people going outside and just buying up stuff. Even though they did that. Allegedly. But let's continue. This is going to be fun. And it's also going to seep into social media. We're going to go over that as well. Importantly, the $47.78 trillion in reported liabilities does not include the unfunded obligations of social insurance programs like Social Security and Medicare. Those are disclosed separately in the off-balance sheet statement of social insurance, or SOCI. The government's consolidated balance sheet position, excluding the SOCI, deteriorated by nearly $2.07 trillion between fiscal year 2024, and fiscal year 2025. Reaching a staggering negative $41.72 trillion. Total liabilities are now nearly 8 times the value of reported assets. The largest drivers were a $2 trillion increase in federal debt and interest payable, now $30.33 trillion, and a $438.8 billion increase in federal employee and veteran benefits payable, now $15.47 trillion. And then they started firing people, but they had to pay them. Because a lot of them took severance packages. They had to pay them. And the ones that they kept got more money. It's a beautiful system. Doge is working perfectly. Oh, nah, ACAT, they're already there. We're already there. The off-balance sheet picture is even more alarming. The 75-year unfunded social insurance obligation surged by $10.1 trillion in a single year, rising from $78.3 trillion in fiscal year 2024 to $88.4 trillion in fiscal year 2025, driven primarily by $6.9 trillion jump in projected Medicare Part B shortfalls and a $2.5 trillion increase for Social Security. The Treasury statement of long-term fiscal projections shows the 75-year fiscal gap widening from 4.3% of GDP in fiscal year 2024 to 4.7% in fiscal year 2025. So it's going to cut into gross domestic product, even though we're not producing. You gotta love it. Where are all you scumbags that were sitting there calling people panicking because they were raising alarms that somewhere y'all are claiming that this economy is so great and they are not seeing it? You're saying, oh, just let him cook. Well, he's cooking. And like I did today, I accidentally burned the bottom of a pan. That's what he's doing. Your man Trump is the only person in the history of the world to burn macaroni and cheese. And it's not on the top. You let him cook the macaroni and cheese. Number one, he can't cook. Number two, he put no seasoning. Number three, he had the fire high because you know how he is. He don't want to wait for things. He don't want to let things simmer and work out. He wants everything quick. He damn near went and burnt the stupid ass mac and cheese and still tried to sell it to you in a gold colored styrofoam container. And his idiot base sat up there and took it and paid extra. 20% every transaction on the Squarespace. And we're just in the corner laughing at him and trying to hold our nose because the smell is unbearable. But we continue. If the 88.4 trillion in 75-year off-balance sheet obligations were added to the 47.8 trillion in official balance sheet liabilities, total federal obligations would now exceed 136.2 trillion, roughly 5 times U.S. annual GDP. Our generations are incurring unpayable debt. Isn't this wonderful? Isn't this wonderful? We'll skip all this. That household, it says most people cannot relate to $1 trillion figures on a government ledger. So consider this: divide every number by 100 million, drop 8 zeros, and federal finances look like a household budget in free fall. That household earns $52,446, spends $73,378, running a $20,932 annual deficit. Its total liabilities and unfunded promises amount to $1.361 million against $60,554 in assets, leaving $1.3 million in the hole. Uncle Sam, by any accounting standard, is insolvent. Congress has clearly lost control of the nation's finances. America is facing a fiscal catastrophe. The reckoning, long deferred, is becoming impossible to ignore. 2 bills that could change everything. Addressing this crisis and preventing reoccurrence requires 2 specific legislative actions. Now, here they go. Here comes a corporation about to advocate how the government is supposed to move. Let's see what they said. Let's see. First, Congress should pass the bipartisan House Resolution 3289, Fiscal Commission Act, sponsored by Representative, he is a Republican, Bill Huizenga, I guess, out of Michigan, Representative Scott Peters, a Democrat out of California, 41 co-sponsors. Such a commission would force a public reckoning with the facts, the trade-offs, and the hard choices that restoring fiscal health requires. A public forum to tell everybody how broke we are. That should be fun. I kind of want to see that. Second, Congress should call an Article 5 convention limited to proposing a fiscal responsibility amendment to the U.S. Constitution. H. Con Res 15, sponsored by Representative Jody Arrington, Republican out of Texas, would do exactly that. Model on Switzerland's debt break, such an amendment would mandate a balanced budget over the business cycle and prohibit federal spending from growing faster than the U.S. economy. These 2 bills represent the most credible path forward if Congress has the will to act. Then, of course, they have to put this on here. Now, the person that wrote this is a professor of applied economics at Johns Hopkins University. So what we're going to do is put this in the chat. I know that was boring, but there's a reason why, again, I had to start with that. Because they man is outside, right? He outside. He talking about a whole lot of nothing, but there was something that I want y'all to see. If this does not prove that he is actively tanking the American economy because he knows on January 20th, 2029, he has an exit strategy to Doha, which we played at the beginning, maybe this will help you. Maybe, just maybe.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
Now, just to clarify, this proposal here, Iran told them to screw themselves. So it says the 15-point plan the U.S. will propose to Iran according to Israeli Channel 12. Israeli Channel 12. This should be good. And no, Israel, I'm really not dissing you, but I just find it funny that you are the guys that are reporting this.
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
I wonder what it says. Removal of all sanctions on Iran. We've seen what that did. Trump did that and they made hella money off letting oil go through. Okay. U.S. assistance in advancing and developing a civilian nuclear project. Now, I said project for a reason. Not that I misspoke. I said that because this is going to be a proposal rejection. They're not going to go for this. There's no way you're going to have our inspectors over there in Iran watching their stuff. You tried that in Iraq. You tried that in Afghanistan. No. Electricity generation. Even though they told you during Geneva this is what they were using it for, now you want to do this. We're only 2 sections in and they've already told them to go screw yourself. Okay. Removal of the threat of sanctions being reimposed. So you're backing down. So the third one, 1/5, you already say that you're negotiating for a place of weakness. Thank you. Thank you, Marco Rubio and the rest of them. Thank you. And this is the dude they said it should run with J.D. Vance in 28. Okay. Iran's nuclear program is frozen under a defined framework. Again, this is why they told you to screw yourself. Why would you tell them this here and then go 2 spaces up and say, oh, like, and they think I know what it is. They think they're stupid. They think they're just in the desert, just doing nothing, yelling intifada's, and that's it. And beating up women. I think that's what they still think. I understand. I get it. Enriched uranium to remain but under supervision and agreed limits. Why would they do that? If it's theirs and they pay for it, why would they do that? But okay. Missile program to be addressed at a later stage with limits on quantity and range. Because that's worked so well before. Especially when you were paying off them jihadists with the weapons that we developed over here. I'm sure you told them that, you know, that surface-to-air missile that can go about 30 miles into Gaza and the West Bank and Tel Aviv. I'm sure you told them that, yeah, you can only make it go about 15. We'll program it to 15. This is how you do it. Yeah. Okay. Use of nuclear programs restricted to civilian defensive purposes only. So you're repeating yourself. Okay. So you have no plan. Development of existing nuclear capabilities halted. But if they were getting ready to use that for electricity infrastructure, why would you tell them to stop now? I know why. You want the corporations in there. I know. I understand. No further expansion of enrichment capabilities. They're already past that, so that's not going to work. No production of weapons-grade nuclear material on Iranian soil. You tried that. They still have it. You're trying to use this number 10 to clean up what happened last year when they punked you on the world stage. Only enriched materials to be handed over to the IAEA within an agreed timeline. They're not going to go for that. Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordow to be taken out of use, destroyed. Now, those are their nuclear facilities. They're not going to go for that. International monitoring and verification mechanisms enforced. Okay, sure. Gradual implementation tied to compliance. So you get to dictate the terms. You wonder why they told you screw yourself. And additional regional security understandings between the parties. Which means you're probably going to bring in refugees from Iran when you destabilize the government again. And we're going to have to deal with that. Yeah, no. And you understand why now they told them to go screw themselves. Okay. Who's ready for the fun? Because as we said, MAGA don't understand what all this means. I mean, it looked good on paper. They run outside. They telling everybody, Trump got this. He got this. Then they couldn't say that no more because then the dumbass goes outside in front of folk. They're going to tell me I took this out of context, but we got the full context. He says this dumb shit.
Little mishap. They shot down 3 planes with our missiles. They happen to be our planes, but the pilots made it. Can you imagine the pilots making it? The pilots saw what was coming. And they said, those are patriots. We're not going to escape patriots. And they got out of there pretty quick, Pete, right? Pretty amazing that they got out. The 3 pilots lived. They're fine. In fact, they're flying today. Yeah, the Kuwaitis made a mistake. They fired. They thought they were firing at the enemy. It was, as the expression goes, friendly fire. But the pilots are great. They're flying today. Pretty amazing when you think of it. Yeah.
President Trump,
So this is from what happened March 2nd when a couple of our planes went down due to friendly fire. He finally answered it. My guy, again, why would Iran agree to any of those terms when you can't even protect our own soldiers who are going over there fighting for you? William, this is what they want you to think. The shit is over. I was going to save this for the end, but we can accelerate it because I want to get to this Ghana stuff. The war is over. This is the child calming down after getting whooped. After you tell them, I'm going to give you something to cry about, now hush it up. The spring will show us everything. Again, I'm still predicting that the GCC and BRICS will control the Hormuz Strait. And if you were on the side of Iran in them and you played it diplomatically, you will get favorable rates to pass through. If you're like the US and Israel, they're going to tax you. We're basically about to pay for all the damage that Iran did over there. By the way, Trump gave them money. You don't believe me? I figured you did it. Trump gave him money. And he stupidly went and told everybody that they gave it to him. Why would you tell them that? Now, it could be money. It could be a key to the Hormuz Strait. It could be whatever. It could be disk records. It could be Epstein files. We don't know. He said it was oil and gas related. Maybe they're going to get barrels. Maybe they're going to get access to a pipeline. We don't know. Why the hell would you tell people you got that? Ricky Ross T, I'm glad you said that. Because we were going to do a segue before we get to Ghana, because we have to go now pivot to black folks. Black folks, would you like to laugh before we get y'all upset over what happened at the UN the last couple of days? If you would like to laugh, put a 1 in the chat. If you do not want to laugh, put a 2. I'll understand. It's a Wednesday. I know you guys probably had a great day. Maybe something bad happened. We don't know. But if you want to laugh, put a 1. If not, we'll make it boring, and then we'll get to what we got to get to. Okay, people want to laugh. Okay. Who heard about that special race down in Florida yesterday? Again, I keep telling y'all, a lot of these special races are precursors to this midterm. Boy, people are going to get their asses kicked on the right if they do not change their messaging. The Democrats already did it. They're daring you to change it, and you're not doing it. Okay. We're going to help you.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in
this man right here, John Maples. I know somebody's thinking it. I'll say it. It's no coincidence that this guy has the same last name as one of Trump's ex-wives. But you see how they lead off? Conservative outsider. I don't know what that means, but okay. America First Patriot. So you contradicted yourself. Wonderful. Business-minded leader. Sure. Devoted father. Great. Where are your issues? Cut taxes and wasteful spending. Okay. Remove burdensome red tape. All right. Support private sector solutions that create high-paying jobs and deliver real results, aka bring the corporations into Florida. And restore local priorities to the governing agenda in Tallahassee. Local priorities. Okay. How about getting them insurance companies back in that state so people can insure their homes in case another hurricane come through? But I'm sure he did everything possible to get this agenda across, and he went outside and showed everybody that he the guy. Yeah, fucking right. There you go. And Trump gave him a cosign. Yeah, you lost to a white woman. Sorry, it's Wednesday. I forgot where I'm at. Here we go. You lost. How do you lose? So the Blue Eyes White Bee is now the most destructive monster in play. How many times do we have to go through this? Why do y'all keep losing to the Blue Eyes White Bee? Why? Has Yugi not shown y'all how to defeat the Blue Eyes White Bee?
I sacrifice both of my creatures to summon this! My Blue Eyes White Dragon! Now, Blue Eyes, attack his Exodia Necros!
MAGA, explain to me why you keep letting the left summon the Blue Eyes White Bee to destroy you. Let's see what the news report says.
Get to work! This coverage tonight, a shocker in the Palm Beach County special election.
Even they know this shouldn't have happened with the Trump cosign. Continue.
Florida State House District 87, covering the coastal area from Juno Beach to Lantana, including Palm Beach and President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. It slipped from red back to blue. The district exploded in size just 2 years ago, and GOP legislators redrew it and easily won the seat by 19 points. That followed years of Democratic wins in a much smaller West Palm Beach-centric District 87. Democrat Emily Gregory wins the seat tonight, defeating Republican John Maples. The seat opened last year when Mike Caruso became Palm Beach County Clerk of the Circuit Court.
By the way, Mr. Maples, go call up Daniel Cameron and see what how he living.
Controller, head of the Florida House Democratic Campaign Committee, released this statement tonight. Quote, tonight, Emily Gregory flipped State House District 87, home to Mar-a-Lago, in stunning red to blue victory. This result underscores a growing shift among Florida voters who are demanding accountability, results, and leadership focused on lowering costs. That's the end of the quote. President Trump won this district in 2024 by 11 points. Another race we're following, North Palm Beach Town Council. That one too close to call. More than 3,400 ballots cast. First and third place are separated by less than 70 votes. Friday, there'll be a recount. The winner will face Ken Rezelner in a runoff election April 7th.
Sir, how did you lose? So you let a virtual unknown defeat you? Oh, I know. Y'all telling me and she's somebody now, but she was virtually unknown. She ran a fitness center for pregnant and postpartum women. She's the wife of someone in the army. How did you lose? $184,000 in assistance from the Florida House Republican Campaign Committee. What? Your career in politics is over. We know this. My chat knows this. And somebody else knows this.
We know this. The Chinese know that we know. But we make believe that we don't know, and the Chinese make believe that they believe that we don't know, but know that we know. Everybody knows.
A Trump cosign will get you laid in the dirt. Okay. We're done with that. Now, this next section, we're going to cut out of this live stream and put it up as a separate video because I'm about to go off. I understand what Africa is doing. I get it. I truly get it. But what I'm not going to allow, or I'm not going to sit up here and tolerate, is now you trying to change the story. Because your colonizers that you allow in your goddamn countries to take over and run your sectors and disenfranchise the people. Now that you got a little bit of access, now you got a little bit of power, now you want to change the subject because you saw people on the West Side not saying a word no more. I know it was lovely about 3 years ago. It was lovely when y'all were being real disrespectful to not only America, but you were being disrespectful to the Caribbean. You were being disrespectful to Africans that were not going along with the playbook of your colonizers. And you were getting mentions. You were getting videos done on you. Y'all took that and y'all was running with it, jumping in spaces, jumping on TikTok, jumping on Instagram, crying victim, and then also trying to throw the belt on. Now that we said, okay, y'all want to play that game, we gonna starve you for content now. We didn't say nothing. Y'all can fact check me. I have not said a word about Africa for about a year or close to. Now all of a sudden, y'all want to have Ghana, that country, Ghana. You want them to go outside and start talking about reparations? That's what we're doing? Okay, I see the play. The Michael B. Jordan thing. I see the play. Okay. See, cousins, I ain't gonna be mad at y'all if y'all go out there and y'all stomp these motherfuckers. I metaphorically, of course. I ain't even mad. Y'all gotta do what y'all gotta do. They understand that the West is fallen, and as any business knows, that once you have fallen, you have to make sure all creditors and people that you owe have to be paid. Yes, Ghana did take part in selling people. Yes, they did. They're trying now, which we have told you on this program they're going to try to do. They're going to try to rebrand themselves. They did that. And they happened to do it in New York. New York. They went to the UN on this. Huh? All right. Let's take a look.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
All right, here we go. Now, this is on the United Nations official website. So it says, UN resolution urges reparations for slavery's historical wrongs. You Okay, we're going to have to do this way. I'm sorry, family. Y'all get mad at me later. We're going to have to do it this way.
Wait, Wilson.
God, Jamaica going to hate me. Ghana going to ban me, but I don't care. Ghana, this is probably one of the most off-code things I've ever seen. Yes, I said off-code. You went in front of the UN asking for a vote. You didn't consult no Black Americans. You didn't consult nobody from the Caribbean to do this. And I found it hilarious, family, and this is the part. I found it hilarious that here's the vote. Now they were all saying 123-3, right? Lest they forget that 52 nations abstained from voting, and most of them were in Europe. The continent that benefited the most off subjugating Africans abstained from the vote. And yes, we're going to include Australia in that too, because they're British. Oh, they're going to throw the kangaroos at me. The koalas are going to kick my hookies. I'm going to get haka to death. It's okay. I'm cool with it. How dare you? This is not your fight. Your fight needs to be to go to Europe and get your stuff back. They took your stuff. They took artifacts out of your country. But you want to do this. You don't believe me. I figured you didn't. How you gonna let a British museum family explain this to me? Black folks, that are Black American. I've heard the jokes over the years. I have. You let somebody borrow your stuff and you got to go back there 6 weeks later and get it. These people got their stuff took, right? They asked for it back. This goddamn British museum said, we're going to lend it back to you. What? You take my stuff and you going to lend it back to me? So you rob me and then I got to go on layaway? But you had the nerve to go in front of the UN Who did you consult? The resolution spearheaded by Ghana received 123 votes in favor. 3 countries, Argentina, Argentinians, the Israelis, and the United States, white supremacy of the West, voted against and 52 abstained. Today we come together in solemn solidarity to affirm truth and pursue a route to healing and reparative justice, said Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama, speaking ahead of the vote on behalf of the 54-member African group, the largest regional bloc at the UN. So the African Union went out there and did this. They were on board with this. They're not. You remember how I used to, when we were really deep into reparations talk on this channel, how I kept saying that Africa gonna have to pay off, and all them Africans got mad at me, them Pan Africans got mad at me because I said that. And I be saying it on X and other places, and they get mad at me. This is their hey big head movement. No, you're gonna pay me. And Jamaica, don't you? I know y'all doing that Vision 2030. Let them pay you to make sure you get that. And I got something to say about them. I'm gonna save that for my upload on Sunday. This. Y'all answer for me. Did Ghana send y'all any emails? I know y'all probably thought it was a bunch of Nigerians trying to scam you, but did Ghana send y'all any emails, direct messages? Come on, if you do content, come on your channel and say, hey, we're gonna come out with this. Can we send you the proposal for it? And we get back to you. Did they do that? If they did that, put a 1 in the chat. I want to talk to you. If not, put a 2 in there. We're gonna keep going. For more than 400 years, millions of people were stolen from Africa, put in shackles, and shipped to the New World to toil in cotton fields and sugar and coffee plantations under scorching heat and the crack of the whip. You forgot about the tobacco. You forgot. You forgot also toil in the house, getting raped, men and women and children. You forgot to do that. Denied their basic humanity and even their own names, they were forced to endure generations of exploitation with repercussions that reverberate today, including persistent anti-Black racism and discrimination. Now, I don't know if he's the one saying this or this is the UN saying this. So let me understand something, UN. So you understood this was happening and you said nothing. You could have brought America to task for this. You did nothing. The resolution emphasized, quote, the trafficking of enslaved Africans and radicalized chattel enslavement of Africans as the greatest crime against humanity by reason of the definitive break in world history scale, duration, systemic nature, brutality, and ending consequences that continue to structure the lives of all people through radicalized regimes of labor, property, and capital. Okay, I see what they're doing here, and it's very slick. I know y'all picked up on it too. They're trying to classify all Black folk over here in the West. They're trying to classify them as African. I see it. This is a Pan-African's wet dream. Let me tell y'all something. I'm not going to be classified as no African. Like, people come from Jamaica, that's how I'm going to classify. I ain't no African. I ain't never been on that continent. I don't know nobody really that's been on that continent that's related to me. You're not doing that to me. No, because I know what y'all trying to do. And I said this years ago too. They're trying to classify all of us as Africans so they can get out of the pain. This is what this is. They're sending Ghana to be out there to flunky to see if they can rebrand themselves so they can get out of pain. Then you're gonna start seeing Nigeria come up, and you're gonna start seeing South Africa come up. You're gonna start seeing DRC come up, Angola. They just declared Egypt and a couple other them North African countries as Africans. I see what they're doing. I see it. It affirmed the importance of addressing historical wrongs affecting Africans and people of the diaspora. They did it again. They did it again. Now the Africans are the victims. Sir, ma'am, all y'all over there in Africa, when you sold the ancestors, you said they were not African no more. Give them their money. Y'all don't get to try to come back and say, hey, we know we kicked you out the family, but you will come back. That ain't how this works. The text was highly problematic in countless respects. Ambassador Dan Negrea, U.S. representative to the UN Economic and Social Council, said prior to the vote, he regretted that Washington must once again remind this body that the United Nations exists to maintain international peace and security and was not founded to advance narrow specific interests and agendas, to establish niche international days, or to create new costly meeting and reporting mandates. He regretted, sorry. Furthermore, the U.S. does not recognize the legal right to reparations for the U.S. does not recognize the legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time they occurred. So they're telling you.
Hello, Mr. President, Excellencies, distinguished delegates. Tens of millions of others like Ekwano were ripped from their families, their countries and cultures, enslaved and sent to work in foreign lands, to cotton fields here in the United States, to sugar and coffee plantations in European-controlled colonies, in what is now Brazil, Barbados, Jamaica, and dozens more places.
All places.
Far from home, far from family, far from life. Countless perished before ever reaching land. Those who survived were condemned to lives of servitude and forced by the lash and the whip, denied their freedom, their dignity, even their names. This is not only tragic history. The slave trade and slavery stand among the gravest violations of human rights in human history, an affront to the very principles enshrined in the Charter of our United Nations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, themselves born in part from these injustices of the past. Indeed, the memory of this atrocity is immortalized here at the United Nations in the Arc of Return and is commemorated in this hall year after year. Because while slavery itself has been abolished, its consequences endure, continuing to shape lives to this day. For descendants, it is inherited, manifesting as poverty, as social discrimination, as underrepresentation in politics and business. And for countries of origin, many of whom have representatives here today, it was the hollowing out, the loss of entire generations who would otherwise have helped to sow the seeds of prosperity. It was, to put it in colder terms, mass resource extraction. Those of us whose predecessors did not have to live through these atrocities can never truly fathom how dire the conditions on those boats must have been, nor how hopeless and heartbroken the people. But none of us could say we do not know the fate that they met. We have seen this time and again in movies and television, in books and literature. We've heard it from friends, families torn apart, women and men, children, slaving away in cotton fields and on plantations under scorching heat, women raped, men beaten, children born without hope of education or opportunity. Addressing these injustices is therefore a moral imperative, rooted in a collective responsibility to confront past wrongs and to shape a more just future. An imperative that requires storytelling, as Oladu Ekwano did in his memoir, and as Ms. Esther Phillips and Ms. Shahada Jack will do for us today.
Again, y'all watched this happen and y'all was cool with it. Okay. All right. Okay. We continue. These people are just hilarious. There you go.
And condemnation of historic wrongs that resulted from the Transatlantic Slave Trade, the Trans-Saharan Slave Trade, and all other forms of slavery. We remain committed to the acknowledgement that these historical wrongs. Despite this, the United States observes that the text of this resolution remains highly problematic in countless respects. Consequently, the United States cannot support the adoption of this resolution. We regret that the United States must once again remind this body that the United Nations exists to maintain international peace and security. It was not founded to advance narrow, specific interests and agendas, to establish niche international days, or to create new costly meeting and reporting mandates. This resolution does all three. The United States has defined long-standing objectives to the framing of reparatory justice and the duty of reparation for historical wrongs. While we acknowledge the horrors of the past, we do not accept this resolution's assertion that historical facts from the 15th through 19th century constitute violations of jus cogens, as the term is understood in contemporary international law. The United States also does not recognize a legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time they occurred. In addition to its obvious legal problems, this resolution is also unclear as to who the recipients of reparatory justice would be.
You see how they lie? You see how they lie? Because there was the people have brought this up before in front of y'all. You know exactly who. And America has the records, so you know exactly who it is. See how they trying to... They still want to tell you ain't no white supremacy. All right. Let me see if I can find that video. I forgot whose account it was. They were outside the UN. No, not the UN, the burial grounds. Yeah, this one.
Get to sell us twice. Y'all was complicit.
Shout out to Melrose.
You don't get to sell us twice. Kwame Ansa was the chief that worked with the Portuguese to build Elmina Castle in the slave dungeon. You don't get to get reparations on the people you sold. Go home. Go home. These are Black American ancestors. The Canadians are complicit in slavery. They worked with the white supremacists that enslaved us on this land. You don't give up.
Yeah, so they were in front of the burial grounds down there in New York, putting out that statement. Mm. There you go. They're trying to change it. There goes Sharp Tongue. There goes Mon Dummy. Look at all the Pan-Africans. Must be nice, right? Look at Mon Dummy. You see how quickly he turned away from our Sharp Tongue? How the hell you hold up? You saw he bowed to the man. He could have started this at home. You could have been paying off folk from home. Y'all must not have had nothing to do yesterday. Y'all coming out all decked out like the Jesus Christ. Go ahead. I can just feel the contempt on all their faces. And shout out to them over there in the corner with the Black American Heritage flag. They was getting ready to get y'all caught. This is unbelievable. I can look at this. What is going on? I hope every one of them fell. I hope every one of them fell trying to get back in the car. I ain't gonna hold you. Bakra is, it was used as slaves to address their white owners. Look at this. I don't even want to start. What? Nick.
Mike Wilson.
Bruh, what? Man, this is diabolical. You stop it. You stop it. That is not D.L. Hughley. That's L.D. Hughley.
Y'all trying to get me go to hell.
Do you see that? Latin Americans, what they got to do with this? They got their own claim. Why are you including them? They the same ones keep saying I'm not black. This is what I don't understand, fam. Maybe y'all could help me out. They let the Afro-Latinos who come from the African backgrounds, they let them fight to be Afro-Latino. But they tell y'all can't fight to be Black American. How does that work? You stop it. That was not precious. That was dainty.
Y'all trying to get me go to hell.
That was gorgeous.
Y'all trying to get me go to hell.
That was not precious. That was priceless.
Y'all trying to get me go to hell.
Anyway, why Latin Americans there? Go ahead. Well, show me the African American one. The Caribbean community. What does that say? Caribbean communities. Lord have mercy. I understand because it's New York, but God, Jesus Christ. Caribbean got their own claims. Why are you including them? This is for Black Americans. In a city they built. Jesus Christ. Off the strength, they should be getting reparations for Central Park. Off the strength. If that's not an addition and an amendment to why they should get their reparations, that right there. Y'all ran out an entire Black neighborhood that was profitable so you could build a 30-block park. President of the Republic of Ghana. How does he get a wreath? Must be nice. Look at this. Look at this African. Alleged. Now he African. You see this? What is that? Mayor of New York. How does he get to put up a wreath? And who represented the Caribbeans? You see, I didn't show that, right? Oh God, what did he say?
Of the African continent.
African continent.
That history must never be forgotten.
Sir, now you need to be slapped. Not only for what your old lady said, but you need to be slapped for saying that, because you went and had to apologize for leaving out Black Americans on the building of New York City. And you ate that. So let's see, man. Whoever is setting up your daily visits and your itinerary needs a raise.
And when we tell it, let us tell it in its totality. For we know the history of Black New Yorkers.
You don't know the history of Black New Yorkers, sir. Oh, wait, no, you might, because you went to college for that. But you went for Africana studies. That's something completely different. Go ahead. Give us more.
We tell it. Let us tell it in its totality. For we know the history of Black New Yorkers is not just one of oppression. It is one of resistance.
You hear him?
Of organizing, of fighting for freedom, among so much else. Let us tell the stories of Black New Yorkers who fought in the slave revolt of 1712. Demanding dignity only 1 year after the first slave market in New York City was erected at the foot of Wall Street. Let us tell the story of the community of Weeksville, founded in 1838, just 11 years after New York State outlawed slavery, and how it would grow into a self-sustaining, safe haven for escaped and freed slaves with its own schools, churches, and newspapers. And let us tell the story of the many who continue to resist the long shadow of slavery and discrimination.
There you go. Now all of a sudden you want to bring up Weeksville. And for those who don't know, that's out there in Brooklyn. Now you want to bring that up. Oh, you remember how I said earlier, I'm going to shut the music off for this part. Remember how I said they was outside trying to change history? Remember I said that? And now they're trying to change the story and play victim. Yeah, they did that shit. Now, we're not saying this is a totality of everybody over on that side, but yeah, we're going to have to watch this.
You know, Let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
I just saw this. Over here on the right side, Muslim first, Pan-African. Muslim first, Pan-African.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
Okay. This result tells us three things, my dear Africans. We are all on our own. So now you Bobby Brown in 1989. Okay. Every European nation that systemically benefited from slavery abstained while you let them come into your countries and put feet to your asses. Now you want to. Okay. Oman abstained because they were leading the Arab slave trade. 18 million lives lost. And you still sat there. You still sat there. You still sat there. Of course, the BRICS nations were going to go for this. Of course. Here, the antidote for our people's suffering is Pan-Africanism. She said it. Well, guess what, ma'am? Guess what? F Pan-Africanism. Because it's not reciprocal. Y'all can stay over there. Play Pan-Africanism within your borders. A lot of us tried that. And we found out the hard way. No, sir. Y'all gonna learn real quick. But that's okay. That's all right. Anyway, y'all, I just wanted to bring that to you really quickly, especially about the U.S. economy, because of course, you know, them folk over there, they ain't gonna tell you the truth. They just see Trump say something somewhat coherent and think that it's great. Dow Jones was on his way to falling today until them oil prices came out. The spring will show us everything. It started off with a kick. Anyway, before we go, let's acknowledge these super chats, and then I'm going to send off Double Dragon to these studios and relax for the rest of the night. Follow J, thank you for being a member for 2 years. That's a blessing. And you get this here.
I am overwhelmed.
Ricky Rusty, thank you for the $5 super chat. That's a blessing. Embrace villainy all day, every day. And you get this here.
I am overwhelmed.
And thank you for becoming a YouTube member. That's a blessing. And you get to hit this here.
I am overwhelmed.
Old Soldier said Africa needs to come together on a continent first before they can tell FBAs anything. Shit, they came together for this. The African Union led this. They just sent Ghana up there to be the spokesperson. Nasty work, but thank you for that. Anthony Ruger Films, thank you for being a member for 20 months. That's a blessing. And you get this here.
I am overwhelmed.
All right, y'all. I'm up out of here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Y'all stay safe. If you're, depending on where you are, stay warm or stay cool. Take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence. We're broke.
Oh, here it goes.
Time's up.
Get your ass up. We gotta get out of here now.
But did we have a good time here? Hello?
Gotta get your groove on.
At the end of the day gotta end.
That's it.